Nasema majina yangu ni Gethenji Kamotho, na ya kwanza tu ni kurudisha pole kubwa sana kwa familia na jamii ya kutoka Nyanza kwa huyu kijana mmoja ambaye alichukuliwa na ndugu zetu askari na akapatikana amekufa. Sisi kama wananchi tumekuwa na concern kwanza na Safaricom company yenyewe, maana inasemekana hakuna vile mtu anaweza kukufikia kama hajapewa communication kutoka penye position yenye iko. Kwa hivyo wakifanya wachunguzi mpaka Safaricom ilikubali aje kutoa information ya mwananchi iko mahali fulani ndio akakamatwa. Ya pili, hapa Central Police Station kuna CCTV kwa kila area ya hiyo ndani ya Central Police Station. Tunataka hiyo CCTV isikuwe tampered with. Hiyo documentary yote wananchi wafunguliwe waangalie. Kijana aliletwa ndani ya police station kama amekufa ama aliuliwa ndani ya police station, maana CCTV iko mpaka pale ndani ya police cells. Ya pili, tunaomba waache kufanya vizingizio ya kumsimamisha OCS Central kazi, ilhali tunajua vizuri wenye walitumana kutoka Vigilance House kwenda kuchukua mtu Kisumu, hao ndio wanafaa kuchukuliwa jukumu. Kwa hivyo kukamata huyo askari mwenye alikuwa kwa sentry na huyo askari mwenye alikuwa kwa OB kuwasimamisha, wengine ni askari wako na maloni, wengine wako na mashida, lakini sasa juu wameletewa mzigo na wangepigia order waambie huyo mtu ametumwa awekwe pale ndani, wako na option. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema pia tusikashifu tu wale askari, lakini tuseme yule mwenye alitoa order huyo kijana atolewe kwenye alitolewa huko Kisumu akaletwa Nairobi. Huyo ndio angechukuliwa hatua na akamatwa na apelekwa kotini. Ya pili ambayo tunataka tuseme ni hivi. Tendo hili limetokezea, sisi kama wananchi tukue very keen. Maana tujaikaa chini tuongee maneno ya police station na police cells zetu. Unajua ni uchungu sana kujua wakati unaandikwa kwa OB in any police station hapa Kenya, kikombe ya chai yenye unakunywa pale inakuwa imehesabiwa shilingi 125. 125 shillings. Ni kumaanisha unafaa ukunywe chai na mkate yenye imepakwa blue band ndio ikuwe na value ya 125. Pesa ambayo ina allocate kutoka kwa treasury. Lunch inakuwa 250. Hii ni standard yenye iko, hii ni pesa yenye inaandikwa kwa kila OB. OCS wengi ndio wanakula hii pesa hivi. Wewe unaingizwa hapa sel, unapewa githeri nyingine ina mafuta, toast mbili za mkate. Yaani unaona ni ukora inaendelea. Sasa tunasema hivi hata kwa badi, kwa treasury, allocation ya jera ya chakula ya wananchi na kwa police cells tunataka ikuwe evaluated, tujue ni pesa ngapi wananchi ana allocate kwa hizo police cells zote Kenya na the same kwa prison. Kwa hivyo mimi yangu tu ni hayo machache ya kusema tu, pia nikiongeza maneno ya welfare
tuwatawe, na pia mimi ni Mkenya halisi na kuna mambo mawili matatu ambayo nataka kuongea. Jambo la kwanza nitaanza na kuongea kuhusu hii finance bill. Okay, let me talk about the budget. Kuna mwenzangu amechanganyua hiyo budget hapa and he said that this budget only has a lot of things to do with expenditures, and these expenditures are very well highlighted, but they are not telling about the revenue. How much were we able to raise in the recent financial year, and how much are we projected to raise in the next financial year? When we talk about expenditure and revenue, there is one thing that we are forgetting to address. This is something to do with the development. For the country to be called a developing country, there must be something in that budget which is an indicator of development. And for us to develop, some things have to happen. Okay? One thing that is supposed to happen for us to indicate or show any signs of development is one, employment. To guarantee employment, something to do with reviving or creation of industry must be proposed in that government, in that budget. When there is something like that in the budget, it's an indicator that the government is going to develop, the government or the country is going to develop. Because when we revive parastatals, when we revive industries, youths are going to get employed. Okay? Let's say kwa mfano, tumerevive Mumias Sugar or Nzoia Sugar. There will be massive employment of Kenyan citizens. Not only that, we are also going to have suppliers. Are we there? Not only that, we are going to have a lot of things. Kwa sababu mahali ambapo kuna kiwanda na kuna wafanyikazi, they have to eat. Are we there? Now, since we have entrepreneurs, they'll try to build a hotel or a restaurant near that industry. Are we there? So that the people who are working can go there for lunch. That's an indicator that there is enough circulation in the money, in the economy. There is enough circulation of money in the economy. And the government is able to collect tax bila kufinya watu. Are we there? But when you come up with the budgets that only shows indications of expenditure and you're not showing us clear methods of how you're going to recover that money, the country is failing. You cannot come up with a budget and you're having 1,200 advisors and dreaming to employ more and assume that the country is going to develop. No way. For the country to develop, the budget must have proposals of reviving or creation of industries. When that is not happening, Kenya is not becoming rich anytime soon. And why? It's because we have focused leaders with zero political goodwill. Hatuna leader yoyote ambaye ako na political goodwill. So, our environment, our companies are not going to be revived. There will be no creation of jobs. There will be no creation of businesses. Another thing to do with that budget, there is a budget deficit. And to fund the budget deficit, there must be borrowing. Are we there? And borrowing should be done both domestically and internationally, isn't it? But when you borrow domestically, when you borrow excessively domestically, tuseme kwa mfano leo, government imeenda pale Equity Bank. Imeomba Equity Bank iwapatie loan ya 500 billion. Na wewe umeenda pale Equity Bank, unataka loan ya 100 million kufanya biashara. What will happen? The government is likely to block you. Not the government, the Equity Bank is likely to block you. Because they are very sure the government will come and borrow and for sure they will pay us. Because they will deduct tax. They will deduct tax. And they are very sure the government has means of getting that money. The government, ignore that. Let us ignore them. Yes. Because the government has a clear layout method of recovering that money. For this reason, Equity Bank will block you from accessing that loan and give it to the government. When that happens to a lot of us, it means those who have good business proposals cannot access loans. Are we there? Because the loan is expensive and too hard to get. Hiyo inamaanisha the brilliant minds that are entrepreneurial in nature, the brilliant mind that can create opportunities will not able to create this opportunity. What does it mean? We will not have enterprises, we will not have jobs, and we will not have money circulating in the economy. Now, for the government to do us favor, let them think of how they can make sure that money comes into the pockets of Mwananchi, if you cannot want. Money comes into the pockets of Mwananchi. There is one thing that is going on right now that is not pleasing. And if we are sharp enough, we have seen. Why would you spend 1 billion on a campaign rally dishing out to the people, yet in a period of 5 years, that 1 billion can create an industry that can employ a lot of people in that environment? What are you telling us? That shows us these people always want us to depend on them, to always run to them during election nearing period. Because if they give us that financial independence, we will be able to make sober, calculated decisions that will not see them in power. For that reason, wanangoja mpaka 2026, 2025 ifike ndio uone mtu amebeba bodaboda, matatu ama pikipiki anapelekea wamama 100 kule afanye nayo biashara. Why don't you spend that money in 2023 immediately you come into power? Because you're a remote and you're controlling the people. My friends, come 2027, we do not want to repeat these mistakes. Kuna mtu amesema Kenya has been a company since independence, and yes, it is. That's why we as cousins have decided to come together and find out where the rain started beating us. Did it start beating us from the time we got independence? Did it start beating us from the time Moi left power? But I don't think so. We must do things right. We only have one agenda as cousins. That is proper governance, a country free from corruption, a country with integrity, a country free from extrajudicial killing, a country where everybody live in peace and unity, a country where everybody live as a cousin. Are we there? And for us to achieve that, my cousins, one thing should happen. Harambee! Only that one.
Thank you. Welcome. Ongea na akasema kuna ile pesa sha inamkata na inamkata 7,000 Kenyan shillings, na out of the 7,000 shillings anasema wale ambao ni wa kipato cha chini hawafaidiki kwa hiyo pesa mingi ambayo yeye anakatwa. Lakini if you see in the SHA rollout system, then you can identify that they are 4.5 million Kenyans who are depending on the primary healthcare system for them to be treated free of charge. What do I mean free of charge? And what do I mean primary healthcare? The primary healthcare systems are those hospitals between level 1 and level 3. Those are the ones that we call primary healthcare. And we have 4.5 million shillings. Not 4.5 million shillings, but 4.5 million Kenyans who are being catered for under the primary healthcare system for free. So if you are deducted 7,000, another one is deducted 10,000, don't come here, stand and misinform these members, because everybody is being catered for. Your 7,000 is catering for someone who does not have an employment. Your 10,000 is catering for someone who depends on food. It is called hand and mouth of food. How is it called? Hand to mouth. Second thing, last week there was a member of parliament who was the talk of the town through his empowerment program. And let us talk about good things. Let us just talk about good things wholeheartedly, without involving politics, without involving enmity, and without involving people who are so much bored with other people, and the people who are so much guilty of anything. You saw the other day the Kapsaret lawmaker ensuring that the people of Kapsaret have got what they have got to ensure that it can upwork them empowerment-wise. Because when you have 100 motorbikes, when you have posho millers, when you have the machines that can cook what is so-called chips, when you can have even there were so many equipments that benefited the people there. And then I saw a fellow, someone who has no office and had some other time, called Wamunyoro, and he was speaking na anasema ati rais ametuma watu wanapeleka vitu mzuri mzuri huko, alafu akienda Mount Kenya anapea watu maharagwe, mahindi na michele. And there was a time, for the record, when Rigathi Gachagua was the deputy president himself, he stood somewhere in Kiambu. It was in the late evening hours, and he spoke himself, and he addressed the president categorically, and he said, for the people of this region to love you, whenever you are appearing anywhere within a state lodge that is within Mount Kenya region, then open the doors for those people and ensure, specifically he mentioned, and ensure there are beans, ensure there is rice, ensure there is meat, ensure there is everything. So what is the problem if he is speaking about something like that? If he prophesied that for his own people when he was a deputy president, what is so different that he's coming now to tell the people that the people of Mount Kenya are being taken for small things, and yet he is the real person who took the people of Mount Kenya to that direction. And these are leaders that some of you believe in to liberate this country. Some of you believe on such leaders who are speaking today this way, next week because of some political arrangements. I remember there is also a statement that he made, and he said hii mtu ya Wakamba tumejaribu kuita kuja serikali amefanya nini? Amekataa. So he said that tumeongelesha itupee kiti na amekataa atuletee watu ya Wakamba. So saa hii akianza kuzungusha hii siasa ya cousins, and we know that family related people, a cousin is someone who is related to you. There is no cousin who is not related to you. So he is trying to cannibalize some politics. He is trying to bring some rhetoric that he can only deal with the people who are closely related to the people of the mountain. But Kenyans have denied that way. In 2027, people are going to vote. We are not going to vote cousins versus cousins. We are going to vote good governance versus cousins. We are not going to buy that rhetoric. We are not going to buy it at all. Play that, but we have desisted on buying that agenda. Lastly, there is just an issue that was here at Central. And I want to tell you this.
Check your time. Your time.
Yes, my time. Just 2 minutes or 1 minute strictly, Mr. Speaker.
Seconds.
I want to talk about this issue
30 seconds.
because I believe the same person who died was a young person, and so am I.
30 seconds.
Yes? Yes, and a teacher. When abductions are being done in this country, you know, most of the time we have mistrust with our national police service. We have a lot of mistrust that we don't trust any information that can be given by the National Police Service. We have the police. We know that the police are going to do anything within their means to disclose to the Kenyan people and to the public the cause of whatever happened to one Albert. If the police can unravel a person who can abduct himself, that can show you the seriousness of our National Police Service. At the end of the day, this matter will be adjudicated and the cause of this issue will be resolved. So we are sending our condolences to the family, and we are telling the National Police Service, in the same speed that they used the other time, to ensure that they unravel the person who abducted himself. Let them use the same energy, the same speed, the same gusto to ensure that justice is brought to that young man. And let us stop playing politics, cheap politics about whatever had happened. I was not there when that person was being jailed or was enclosed in somewhere. Neither were you. And if the people there are trying to give the information,
Your time.
we are letting up